Hey, what's up, guys? John Spalding, day 10 of ADVENTUBE.
You asked if we had 100 people in the community, then what message would we give?
And I've had some extra time to think about this because I recorded the wrong question for this morning.
There was 100 video makers, and they all were on let's say a Discord group, and they all been talking to each other. I think the message that I would like to spread would be, and hopefully put forward, and everyone would agree, would be something to do with environment, especially now that we have to act rather than talk the talk. We have to actually walk the walk. And I'll get these 100 video makers, hopefully they'll be around the world, hopefully in 100 different countries, in both cities and in the countryside, to do their own documentaries. So individually do a documentary, 30 minutes long maybe, about the impacts of the environment over the past few years in their hometown or wherever they're in a city, or like I said, in the countryside, and then collaborate with other people.
Let's focus on getting the 100, and then let's go from there and collectively work with that 100 to figure out what are the global topics that we all agree we want to either know more about or research or put action and effort into. To ADVENTUBE and to all of you guys that are vlogging, and all the new people that want to come on to Team Humble and start to video collaborate. And I want to make sure that you all know that the Steaming Pile is a show and a group conference room that is ripe and open for collaboration and facilitation. So if we have 100 people and we all want to meet, or we want to have a series of meetings, I can help facilitate that using Zoom, and we can do breakout groups and all that kind of stuff. So took a little bit of a different way and approach to answering it. Hope it's helpful.
I think if you had 100 people in the community, first of all, you'd be able to do very long videos.
Sean S. Porter here with another ADVENTUBE. I guess part of the group message would be, come look at this community, come look at all these different people coming together in one location that's decentralized, that's not YouTube, that's not Facebook, that's not Twitter, right? And where with that number, with that strength, people hopefully would see potential in that. So yeah, I think the message is, you can find someone here that, you have similarities to, that you can relate to, that you can befriend. You hopefully eventually will be able to find on here someone creating content you find interesting. And there's another way, there's a better way. It's not that big of a deal. There's always the next thing. And, that is kind of the overall picture I would hope a large group of us together would begin to paint as a group.
So the first thing that comes to my mind is, if I would be part of such a group, and let's imagine that we all are well informed about one specific team or one specific idea, I would try to kind of convince all other 99 video makers to kind of inform the rest of the society about the topic that maybe media is kind of holding back and not informing others fully about the awareness of that particular topic, I would say.
You would say, for example, a crypto, isn't it like that?
Because something, yeah.
They're
but
kind of the information usually on media is not really that honest, and a lot of people who are not part of it don't really know.
We should share only the truth about this world, and truth about all those aspects which are showcased in a false way. And that is important, because in this way we all can awaken for good. We can stand for good. We can make this world more better place. If you see, then this is the greatest phase for awakening. Lot of people are awakening, and they are knowing the truth, and they are conveying it and sharing it to the world. That's why we are seeing that truth seekers are banned from centralized platforms. And for sure this is happening because few never wants to disclose the truth. But truth cannot be stopped because truth will going to reveal itself. So, if we want to share, then let's share the truth.
I think in our society, and with the rise of social and self-broadcasting, I sometimes think that individualism is an awesome thing, and it's something that people should embrace about themselves. But I think we embrace it. Sometimes we embrace it when it doesn't serve us. So, and what I mean by that is sometimes we have this feeling or this view that we're the only ones that are going through something, or we're the only ones who feel a certain way about things. I think it's super easy to feel alone and lonely in general, but I think especially now. I kind of feel like with the internet, the way that the things are kind of progressing with social media, it's starting to feel a little bit like New York City, which is one of the most like populated, populous, loud, obnoxious. It's one of the most active places that in the world. Like there's always something going on, and it's 24/7. But it's also one of the loneliest places you can be. So I feel like the internet feels like that sometimes as well, because we have like the opportunity for more connection than we ever have, but sometimes it just feels isolating. And I think we take individualism to an extreme. Like the girl with blue hair is talking about individualism. I get it. I get the irony. But sometimes we allow individualism to make us feel like we are the only one having a human experience.
But that aside, I think my experience of doing this kind of thing with large numbers of collaborators in the real world is that the value of this kind of interaction is when you get questions from outside the group. So it's great at the moment that you're providing us with these prompts for things that are interesting to talk about. But I think when it gets really interesting is when you get questions in from outside that you would never have thought of, or none of us, even in 100 people, would have thought of or thought about talking about. And that's when it sparks the really interesting answers, I think, as well. So there's that. That's one thing. The other thing, I think the one thing we can all get behind is the idea that we don't need middlemen anymore. We can do this. You're facilitating this today. Some other point, other people might facilitate something that they want to do. And that's the kind of collaboration I'm interested in, is where we don't have just one little kind of central committee that decides on what collaborations get started and made and inspires things. Although that's a really, there may be people who are always having great ideas, and that's a great role in the thing. But if those people are also the people who are always making it happen, basically my experience is they get tired.
Because globally, what message do we want to share? Well, this was the whole reason for me setting up this month of ADVENTUBE, really. I wanted to do the courses stuff on Skillshare like I did last year, but I just ran out of time. Or focus, actually. It was mainly focus that I was struggling with. And the idea of using Frame was to make sure that the hosting platform could cope with people uploading videos and there was no issues with it, and it was fast enough, and I can download all the videos, and it just integrated into I would say it's like 25% of the project. The hosting and the uploading and the ease of use has to be easy, right? The last two video collaborations, the big ones I did on Steemit, they took a long time because people filling in spreadsheets and then reaching out to them, have you done your video? It was just a lot of logistics of admin that didn't really need to be there. So I always thought the MVP, the minimal viable product, would take a long time to build because of that, because of the hosting, and because of can you upload it here, and natively doing it on a phone. The only thing that's missing right now is an Android version of the app. If there was an Android version of the app, that would make it a lot easier. Anyway, so the question really, I guess, I kind of answered it myself by writing the question out. But the whole idea of AdventTube was to move into 2019 with a group of people, 25, 50, 100 people or more, that we could use as a contactable resource. If there's one thing that I've always wanted YouTube to offer, is the ability for me to wake up in the morning and go, what are people's thoughts on mayonnaise? Or, you know, just like, I wanted to be able to crowdsource B-roll. I wanted to be able to crowdsource opinions. I wanted to be able to say, what does the tower look like in 158th Street, you know, 2nd Avenue in downtown Dallas? You know, like I wanted the ability to be able to crowdsource that stuff in time, and then build up to creating content in kind of a real-time sense. So I've grown up on the internet from a video live streaming perspective over the last 5-10 years, and it's not evolved in the way that I expected it to evolve. So I think the messages that I would like to share is to be able to go to a brand and say, hey, let's have a look at your product. They send the product out to as many people who want to take part. So it might be 25 or 50 people. I speak to the brand and say, here's all the addresses for these people, send them all the product, and then we all do our own little mini review of the product. They will either pay us by giving us the product or pay us a little bit of an amount per review or for the whole review. And then we just work on that together. So we're all accountable for that together. It probably won't be done in a day. It might have like a week of time attached to it. And then we upload all the clips. I edit it together, or somebody can edit together if we've got multiple projects going on. And it's just a resource for brands. And the reason why I came up with this is it feeds into a project that's going to be launched early next year, or in the first quarter of next year, called not Product Hunt. We've got Steam Hunt and we've got Idea Hunt, Review Hunt. So Review Hunt is going to be launched next year using the Hunt tokens from Steam Hunt, and this fits perfectly into that. So I'm kind of excited of reaching out to old friends that I used to know from digital agencies, Thousand Heads, Crayon, places like that. And then also doing something maybe at South by Southwest this year. Maybe coming up with a topic or a series of questions throughout the day, and then getting people around the clock to submit stuff so that we can edit that stuff. Or I can record and upload it and somebody else can edit it, and then we can like do a roundup of things that have happened at South by that day. I just feel like to be able to have a accessible group of people. I can't go to YouTube right now and message 100 people at once and say, I'm coming up with this project, I want to like record all this video, will somebody remotely edit it for me? Like for South by, for instance, I might be there for like 7 or 8 days and I just want to record, I don't want to edit, and I might say to somebody, I will pay you $25 a day to edit all of my clips together as long as the video is done at night so that I can attach it to my blog post in the morning. That way I can just keep on creating while I know a remote editor is doing it. So extrapolate that, right? Make that bigger. 100 people involved in a project. You can almost delegate bits of the story. You know, I need some B-roll, I need an interview, I need you to be in this location at this time. That's exciting to me. That's exciting to me because it opens up so many different avenues of working together, but also income generation. So I think my message in this was that the message I want to share is that we have an unlimited canvas of opportunity when we work on this together. That's it. I've been gassing for 5 minutes.
So I would try to unite all those video makers and convince them that this message needs to be shared and
clarified.
Clarified, and just informing the rest of the society about this topic.
I would say, to my perspective, that would be sharing the knowledge and trying to tell people to not follow the trends and everyone to be the same. So quite the opposite, to be original and to be themselves. And when a group of people get together and try to emphasize that, it does really work, because I've seen a lot of these trends, for example, on Instagram or whatever, not being ashamed of your own body or of your culture's heritage or stuff like that. So I would rather kind of try to focus on cultural things that are dividing our societies nowadays. And I guess that's that for today, right?
That's it for today.
Yeah, see you tomorrow, guys.
I think there needs to be a kind of rotation of that kind of service to the community, of people stepping up and organising things and coming up with ideas for new things. And I think that gets more important when you've got a community of about 100 people, because at the moment it's manageable, but don't want it to get unmanageable.
And then maybe this project could go further by other people visiting initiatives that are trying to tackle the problem, to highlight that people are actually acting on the problem, and to try to get the people to support them, to volunteer their time, donate some money, whatever they could do to support this. The other second thing is I guess kind of a current theme to what's happening in the world. A lot of I won't say a lot of hate, but a lot of divisions, let's say. And so this kind of my second proposal would be to spread the message of love and to appreciate each other. I mean, we're all the same. Yes, we may be different, skin color, different heights, different weight, different sex, but ultimately we're all human beings. So spread the message of equality, especially after the person winning the Nobel Peace Prize trying to get women's rights, especially in these war-torn countries, to get them noticed, to get them fair and equal treatment. It's quite prominent now that this situation and issue has been cropping up, and the hashtag #MeToo movement with women facing discrimination, inequality in the workplace, and or in any situation really in life. So definitely that's kind of my second proposal. It's interesting to see that there are pockets of video makers kind of like trying to address these issues, but to have 100 strong or even more would be great. Hopefully we could do something like this in the future. I definitely would like to be a part of it. Stay tuned. Hopefully we can do it, guys. I know we can.
So really what I'm trying to say, without just like sounding like some type of vapid pageant queen answer, is I would love to find a way to communicate and to act on the assumption, or no, my tripod fell, I'm not refilming it, I'm sorry, it is what it is. That's what daily vlogging is. It's real life. What I'm getting at is I would love for 100 strong vloggers to communicate that whatever you're going through, whoever you feel like you are or you shouldn't be, or whatever feels tumultuous inside of you, you are not the first person to feel that way. You're definitely not the last person who's going to feel that way. And it's very likely, with a couple billion people on the internet, that you're not the only one who's currently feeling it. And I am like such a connector. I'm realizing that I can see things, and I can see different people. Like, I'm the person at the party who's like kind of talking a little bit to everyone and then saying like, oh no, you need to go talk to that person, that's like, they're really into that, or like, you guys would really hit it off. So that's what I want to see a real group of vloggers doing. I want to see people being honest, which I think this group has been like so candid and honest with their daily submissions. I think it's beautiful, and it reminds people, i.e. me, that even though I get wrapped up in my own individualism of who I am, and the fact that I'm a unique person, which is lovely and everything, but I also am like really not unique in the things that I'm afraid of, the things that scare me, the things that bring me anxiety, the things that I worry about, are all basically general human worries. And it brings a little bit of comfort knowing that that I'm not alone in those. I think loneliness is a really, really dangerous thing to feel on a long-term basis. I would also like to alleviate the fact that I'm so cold, and so since it's almost 5 minutes, oh my gosh, Phil, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I love you. Mwah.
That's it for today's vlog. See you in the next one. Bye.
Let's do it. 100 strong.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Spread love and spread kindness. Stay blessed.
ADVENTUBE. Team Humble. See ya.
Love you. Bye.